So I work from home today, so I've got no commute to talk until now. I'm taking Kinsley. Hi, Kinsley.
Hi.
To practice. She's got dance, and so we're headed there. And then I'm gonna run some errands while she's there, and that's about it today. Had a great day at work. Got a lot of stuff done. Got to do some negotiations and things, so kind of fun day, and that's it. I keep saying and that's it. All right, so I was driving the car and I asked Kinsley, I said, hey, I don't have anything today, so what can I talk about? And she said, I said, what story, what do you want to know about your dad? And she goes, I want to know about the time when you were a model. Now, we both laughed because that is a very loose term. Model and I was a model are two different things. I guess I did. It's one of my brother's favorite stories to mock me on, because kind of like my punting, I didn't really get a lot of gigs. But kind of like football, I went to Division I school for Des Moines. I went to one of the biggest agencies in that city, Des Moines, Iowa, and did that for a while. The funniest part about the whole deal is, so I got roped into it. You know, it's kind of a big trap. They prey on people who want to be famous or whatever, who like seeing themselves on film or something. I don't know. And I just was interested in it and was always tall and thin. But anyway, long story short, I go through all these classes and it's really weird, kind of interesting but weird and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of cute girls there, so it wasn't horrible by any stretch of the imagination. But I remember they were doing, they did a prom show one time, and so I got to do a prom show. And so the coolest part about the prom show for me was, it was me and this other dude and like 10 girls. And it was in a weird venue, I think downtown Des Moines, somewhere near like, I don't know, Java Joe's or something. Maybe it was even Java Joe's, I don't know. So they had a small crowd there to look at the prom dresses, and so we go to, well, the weird part was the guys' changing room, and all we really changed was bow ties and cummerbunds at one point, but our changing room was in the back, and we had to walk through the girls' changing room to get to where we were. So you can imagine two 15-year-olds or 16-year-olds dudes having to walk through 10 models' dressing rooms to get to the stage. Now, we were told to be professionals and to just look straight forward. I'm sure I was a professional. So that was a funny story from my limited modeling career. There's two more stories. Well, I think what my brothers would tell you is the funniest part and what they like to do, because we still had 200 copies of these, is my comp card. So I did the photo shoot thing. My good parents, who were willing to humor my craziness, allowed me to do this, and they let me do this photo shoot. Now the weird part was, I think it's all a scam. It's like the lady who runs the place gets you to use her brother, who's the photographer. It's a little weird, but anyway, so I went and did that, and there's this picture of me like going like this, you know, or some weird pose, like balancing on a railroad track in a 80s sweater, 90s sweater. So really stupid and kind of silly, and some other ones. So it got to be this big joke. So then they were left, our parents kind of left our rooms the way they were for years and years after we had moved out, and slowly giving us stuff. Well, I'd say until about 2 years ago, we actually had a stack of my comp cards like this thick. And so every time my brothers would come across them or whatever, they would like pull them out and put them places and send them to me and do different things. So they were really cheesy. And so that was another stupid part of my modeling career. But the one time I truly, I think, modeled and got paid for it was actually when I was asked to do a Maytag commercial. So if you remember the Maytag, when Maytag came out with the dual oven. So it was like a regular oven, and then where you normally would put the pots and pans underneath. This was the year that they first came out with the warmer or oven underneath there. And so I was back from, actually I'd stayed, I guess, active with this modeling agency, not doing anything for years. And then they called me when I was back from college one time, or I came down from college to do this because I thought it was going to be funny or interesting. And I was actually son back from college 1, I think was in the script. Now, I had no lyrics, or no, not lyrics. I had no words in the script. It was just, I was sitting around a Thanksgiving table, and that was the scene. And they filmed it like 50 times, and I passed, the turkey or something like that, or stood up and sat down, like something really silly. But basically, it was the video. Back then was still VHS tapes, I believe. So it was the video that came with the product. So when you bought one of these ovens, you got this video that Maytag put out. And that's about as famous as I got with my modeling. So there you go. There you go, Kins. Yeah. Silliness, once again. Kinsley and I were laughing after I turned off the recording, and she actually kind of said, "Yeah, Dad, I don't know if it was really like advertising so much as what."
Well, not as much as a commercial.
Oh yeah, not as much as a commercial, but more like an advertisement. She's right. It was more like an advertisement, not a commercial. Hello. That never gets old. We do that all the time. Hello. All right, so random thought, comment, discussion. Have you ever written out like a really awesome, long, I guess you could say blog or whatever? I did a post on Facebook that was brilliantly written. I'm not a good writer. I know this. There was no punctuational errors. There was nothing wrong with it. It was beautiful. It was long. I don't normally write long ones. And I was able to do it. That sounds really bad. I was able to do it. I know I'm able to do it. But I did this post. And then I flipped to another screen to like pull a URL or something like that. And it wiped it out. It was like, you can't recreate it. Sometimes just like in the moment, in the vibe, and you write this great little thing. Well, I was kind of there, and I wrote this thing, and then now it's gone for good. So you try to rewrite it, and it's just not as good. It's kind of okay, but just not what it should be. And so I was kind of depressed. Not depressed. Depressed is a bad word. I wasn't depressed. I was just upset that it wasn't able to have what I originally wanted posted. It's bright. So now I'm off to get my phone. I had to get my screen fixed before I turn it in, which sucks. Of course, it's one of those things where you have to you had something. I never wreck my phones, but this one time, of course, when we were turning them in actually, to get new phones, it was cracked. Just a tiny little crack at the bottom, and they wouldn't take it back for the full price. So now I gotta pay $100 to get 600 or 700, whatever, Worth it, but you guys make that noise? Ever done that? The drop noise? I do. I have all these random things that I used to practice, like gleeking, like that noise. What else? Some other things like that. My kids are amazed with them, but they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I stupidly don't sleep, I guess, and I just spend hours doing this stuff, or I never was bored. That's my parents. I don't think I was ever bored. I was always doing something. That's how I learned how to hacky sack, and those devil sticks where you bounce it to. I know how to do those. I was a clown in a former life or something. Do balloon animals, like 3. I could do some balloon animals. Really, my thing is yo-yoing though. Oddly enough. It's been a while. I can still do it though. Enough to impress kids. A lot of my skill set is enough to impress kids. That's all you need in life, right? And some adults, you know, the right moment, a yo-yo trick can blow some people's minds, but normally not the case. Just kids. Which is why I always have one at my desk at work, just in case kids come in. I'm also the baby whisperer. There's some stories about that. I'll have to tell those sometime. But it's weird being a baby whisperer. You know what that means? It means if you give me a crying baby, even colicky, most times I can get it to fall asleep within, I'm going to say 5 minutes, but I exaggerate everything, so 10 minutes. Pretty consistent. Another random fact. For being random, I was just thinking my beard was a little scruffy the last few days. Let it grow out a little bit. A little mountain man-ish. I'm not living in Colorado, in Texas, and in Dallas. Gotta keep it trim. Just had to shave it this morning, last night. One of the two. Keep it tight. As you can see, it's obviously rush hour. I'm just not on the highway I'm normally on. I'm in suburbia trying to get somewhere, and I'm at two major intersections that are just huge stoplights that I think are triggered the wrong way, where they stop longer on the main road than they do the other road. At least that's what it seems like, but I think it always is that way. It always seems that way, right? I've been waiting so long, you can tell that I'm using the light of the brake lights of the semi in front of me to film this. And testing out my new iPhone 7 Pluses. Better cameras for the dark, I guess? I don't know. Is it better? So I did an entire vlog on the Nadas, the band I love, the guys I know, but I haven't produced it yet. It's just a huge undertaking that I haven't had the time to sit down and do. Because I want to do it right. I want to do it justice so that you all love them as much as I do. But if I put out a crap product, then you won't. You'll be like, yeah, big deal. But if I do it right, and all 16 of you that watch my videos will maybe, hopefully, enjoy them as much as I do. And then, and if enough of you live in Dallas, Texas, we could get them to come down here. So, yeah, let's get them down here. And I'll try to produce that vlog soon. I was just in the store turning in my phones. I'm done with the old phones, in with the new. And when I was in there waiting to charge up my wife's phone, of course, before we turned it in and erased it, they have the Google Home thing. It's pretty sweet. It's kind of like Alexa, but I think they've done a better job. I don't think you can order stuff on Amazon through it, but I don't know if I would trust that anyway. So, I mean, literally, it comes with Google Play, a subscription, so then you can play any music that's on there very easily. So, very cool. Might be getting one. All right, I got some time to kill. I'm going to run into Sprouts, buy some stuff I shouldn't probably. Now I'm rushing over to my daughter to pick up my daughter, but I had to get my super greens, and then some muffins for my daughters and wife. All right, that's it. I'm going to be done for tonight with all my randomness. Unless Kinsley has something funny to say on the way home. So, hope you enjoyed the crazy vlog in my 2 hours of, well, actually about an hour of time, hour and a half, in the car. Running errands, dropping kids off, picking them up.